So long.
All right, we're back in it.
Do we stop our recording? Because I stopped mine.
Oh, sure.
Yes, I did.
I did not, but I'll stop mine now.
So because I just screamed into the microphone, that'll be a good because this is all going to be one file for you, Brandon, and I apologize for that.
Wait, what?
Like this is all one file.
What do you mean?
I've just been hitting start and stop. So like the last 3 days are all in one file. One,
That's that's fun.
yeah. So it might
Is
be hard
that
to,
that isn't how I do it, Brandon?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
dude. I'm not wearing pants, homie. You gotta stop.
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't mean to.
He's my cat's very sharp. Do you cut your cat's nails? Do you cut Jinjo's nails?
I do not. No, I don't. I think I probably should.
Yeah, neither do I. But he's like Coco's very flighty, so I can't, you know.
Yeah, he would murder me if I did.
Yeah, I don't.
Ginger would freak.
All right, let's finish this bitch up.
Perfect. All right. You ready? You ready? Ready?
Wait, wait,
I'm
wait.
ready.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm ready. I just had to do math.
Okay. One, two, three, play.
Nailed it.
All right, it's ratings time. It was Lucas with two, Devin with two. No, Devin had three because he got something else closer. Lucas with two, Seth with one. Devin, you're starting us off. Thermometer. What did critics give this out of 100%?
They gave this the critics because the
Critics.
critics would die for this. I'm guessing they gave it a 73%.
Okay, Lucas.
84.
Seth wins because you guys aren't within eight. It's critics gave it a 98%.
Oh,
Damn.
dude, fuck critics.
And remember,
Well,
Rotten Tomatoes is just yes or
yeah,
no.
yeah,
So 98% of
yeah.
critics liked it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's Rotten Tomatoes is yes or no, rotten or not.
Ouch.
The IMDb one is like the actual scores averaged out together. But what about the people on Rotten Tomatoes? Yes or no? Lucas,
The people's weed. 94.
Devin,
79.
Seth wins. Neither of you guys are within eight. The people gave it a 69%.
Mm.
Power to the people.
Isn't Devin within seven?
No, he said 79, so he's 10 off.
Oh.
So Seth is now tied with Devin 3-3, Lucas at 2. Devin, now we're going to just average scores. IMDb Metascore. What are you thinking?
Critics are
Yes.
okay. 81.
Okay. Lucas?
Hey, alrighty. Let's get this. Oh man, I think yeah. Let's give this.
No, not your rating.
Uh,
Not your rating.
yeah,
IMDb
I'm gonna
Metascore.
say they said a 79.
The winner today is Devin. He's up 4-3-2. It's an 83.
I'm okay
Good
with
job,
that.
Kevin.
And lastly, audience score out
Very
of
close.
10, Lucas. You got to get
Hey,
this right
hey,
to tie.
man, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Let's say a 7.0.
I was gonna go like really near that. I'm gonna say 6.8.
One of you guys is so close, and our winner is Devin. 5-3-2. It's a 6.7, which means users gave it a 69 and a 67 for a 68 average. Critics gave it a 98 and an
Yeah.
83 for a 90.5.
Fuck.
And that's 6.7 users before we get to
Damn
our
it.
own ratings. That 6.7 comes in at the 153rd worst movie we've done, or about the 50th best so far. Movies
Fuck.
Just worse than this, Lucas
Shit.
include Uncle Boon Me, who can recall his past lives.
A perfect movie.
Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh.
An imperfect movie.
Bird Box,
I never
uh,
saw.
John Carter.
Underrated.
I'm thinking of ending things, Devin. Is he gone? He
He's
is
gone.
gone. And lastly, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is just worse than this.
A silly movie.
And then just better than Don't Think Twice. Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
Good movie.
Yeah. A Hot Rod,
Good movie.
Armageddon,
Bad movie.
Even Dwarfs Started Small,
Incredible movie.
White Men Can't Jump,
Great movie.
and
Incredible.
50 First Dates.
Pretty mad movie.
Oh, we like 50 First Dates. We gave it
It
like
was all right.
7-ishes almost.
One of the better Sandler flicks.
Yeah.
Not a Drew Barrymore guy though.
So with that being said, Lucas, what is your score? Is it still an 8.7? You
It is an
redacted it.
8.7
Okay.
for all the reasons said earlier.
Previously listed.
The marriage of improv and sadness, but still maintaining the sort of warm heart throughout it, I think is a is such a striking chord.
Yeah.
So I'm remaining at 8.7.
Devin, your score on the lasagna scale?
The John Leguizamo scale, I'd have to give this a 6.8.
Interesting. Reasoning?
You hated it.
I don't like movies that are artsy just to be artsy. I think some of the dialogue was clumsy and it felt like all the dialogue was improv. I like the overall like message of it, but I think it could have been done better. But
Did voice
John
some concerns about those.
Lasagna tickets 6.9 because of tickets.
Okay. And I think I'm going to go an 8.8. I think I like movies that are artsy when not trying to just be artsy. Complete opposite of Devin. I think it had a point to prove. I think the writing wasn't sloppy. I thought it was real. I thought it was very real life while also injecting comedy into people that do bits as a living into their regular lives. I think that's kind of classic for this style of people. It breaks my heart. It's supposed to be this just laugh out loud improv thing, and then it breaks my heart time and time again about achieving your goals, but also just the simple sad stuff in life, death and breaking up and all that kind of stuff. So it
Monkey business.
the specific, God damn it, I'm not doing that sound clip right now. It's too far away. It's real, the normal day sadness, the specific sadnesses, but also a little injected humor. I love that Mike Birbiglia style. So 8.8. So we had an 8.8, an 8.7, an 8.6,
6.8.
and a 6.9. No, Seth was 8.6.
6.8. That's right.
So Devin's the
Beep
outlier.
boop boop.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's wrong though.
No, but an 8.2
But
average. So
But I think just you saying all that remind me a lot of the series Louie, and I think it shares a little bit of that
oh, Louis was
in
so
common.
good.
That sort of macabre tone while
Yeah.
still being uproariously funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have any critic reviews, surprisingly, with that high of a score.
Big
But I
Rob.
do have, because of that, I put in my normal 7, not 6 or 5 users.
7. I get that. I was gonna guess that.
Oh, you got it double points. Devin still wins 5-4-3 then. Good job, Devin. My first review is by Snoopy Style. Devin pretending to be Seth, pretending to be a writer. And Snoopy Style says, these are great characters in a touching group friendship. These characters feel genuine. Their problems have a reality. The laughs aren't really that big, except for Jack's funeral. It's a sweet little sad sack group. Keeping in tune with its great group philosophy, everybody contributes their own piece to the whole. It's just a nice little movie. 8 out of 10. Devin, you wrote this.
7.
You
You did
you
right.
changed by almost a whole point.
A lot can change in a day, man.
You
Like
reflected.
by one whole point, like one whole ticket. He's got nodes now. His vocal nodes are fried.
It's true.
Next up is by this is a returner. Deloud Delouvain.
This is a newbie.
Delouvain. He says, I'm feeling generous today. So I'll give this movie 4-star rating. But that's because I'm generous. Because honestly, when I watch a comedy, I want to laugh and have a fun a little bit. But don't think twice. I can count the times I laughed on both hands. No, even one hand. Actually, I don't need hands. This is everything but funny. I can't speak for Keegan Michael Key because I'm naturally allergic to that guy. His jokes never made me laugh. When I used to watch the planet's funniest animals, it was clearly not for his 2 cents jokes, but to see some funny animal videos. 4 out of 10.
I too love the animal
Did
videos. Some of his best work.
if I were to categorize this like in a genre, it would not be comedy.
It's a tragic comedy.
Yeah, that's the problem is with comedies. If it's got even the slightest bit of any humor in the award circuit, they will label it as a comedy. Like The Bear, the TV show The Bear is a comedy.
Also a tragic
What?
comedy.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
Really?
it wins all the awards for best comedy.
I would agree with that.
Jeremy Allen
So
White wins best comedic actor. Yeah, I think it belongs in the comedy or like in the award circuit.
I think it's a straight comedy.
Did you see The Martian, Devin, when Matt Damon gets stuck on Mars?
They classified that as a comedy?
That's a comedy. Yeah.
That's more, yeah, but The Bear is a straight comedy. That's a sitcom about about a hot dog guy who tries to be a 5-star restaurant. It's hilarious.
It's starred.
Yeah, did you say it's not a comedy?
I think it is a comedy.
I would call it a drama.
No.
No.
It's
The Bear? We're talking about The Bear, right?
Yeah, that's considered a
What the
comedy.
What the fuck?
Of course it's a comedy.
People
They're
are
making hot dogs. They're fucking Italian beefs and shit.
no, they're not making hot dogs. There's no sausages.
They're making Italian beefs.
They're making Italian beefs, which is different from Italian. Don't even get me fucking started.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
fucking comedy, bro. It's a
Fucking
comedy.
no, it's a fucking drama.
You're learning so much. So when you think about The Bear being a comedy, you're like, okay, fine. I guess Don't Think Twice is a comedy.
No,
You
I
think about the
reject all of it.
formalities.
I reject the entire fucking thing.
The Bear is way
Critics-
more of a comedy than this is.
I would say so. I also think The Martian might be more comedy than this is.
That might be true.
I'm gonna break my computer.
He just doesn't get it. Next returner, or next reviewer is a returner, ArfDog-1. Ooh, 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 ooh. And ArfDog says, who cares? There's only one thing worse than a comedy film about comedy, and that's a comedy film about improv comedy. It's not that the acting is bad or the directing is bad. It's just that the entire concept sucks. Improv might be good to watch when you're drunk. I don't know, but there's nothing real about this movie. It's 110% inauthentic. The actions are contrived and pathetic, and I was bored beyond belief. 2 out of 10.
I refuse.
Hate it.
I'm still angry about this comedy thing. I gotta give me a couple days to move on emotionally.
Okay.
It's essentially like The Boss Baby. It's like
Don't you come at me with that right now.
If
The
you
Boss
treat-
Baby.
it's parallel. If you treat an unserious subject like a baby being a boss, or like a hot dog stand essentially trying to be a
What do you mean?
Michelin restaurant.
Bro, I gotta breathe.
It's the same
It ain't
premise.
that serious. I install glass for a living.
It's the same idea.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
I'm
done
good.
very well, but it's the same idea.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
good comedies in this are like tragic comedies or dramedies. You throw in those like real aspects of life. Not everything
Yeah.
can just be slapstick after slapstick. There has to be a breakup or a death at some point. So why not put it in there? Why avoid it?
Why isn't everything classified as a comedy then? Because every movie has a little funny.
Yeah,
Sugar.
the whole setup of The Bear is a comedy.
Yeah,
This is a movie about a group group of people, and comedy is the apparatus, where the bear, the people are the apparatus, and the comedy is they're a fucking hot dog stand.
what I can't stand is the Hangover and the Bear can be categorized in the same, like, that doesn't compute.
Course, the Hangover. Yeah, well, I see what you're saying.
And the Hangover
Of course they're the same.
the Hangover is not even like in the slapstick of comedies. The Hangover is a brilliantly made sad movie.
There's a comedy.
But
Yeah.
they're all comedies.
Yeah, I think
Manchester by the
that's
Sea is the only drama.
Yeah, that one is so drama. It's crazy. I was gonna say Downton Abbey. You could watch 50 hours worth of Downton Abbey and never even crack a smile for sure.
That's the drama.
So
okay, maybe this is like the two-party system where there's not enough representative groups.
sure.
I don't think that's right. I think the
I
Bear
think
is
it's
a
a
straight
comedy.
I disagree
it's like Seinfeld.
so insanely hard.
I think it's Seinfeld. I think it's Friends. I think it's Two and a Half Men.
No,
I
no,
think it's
no,
the
no, no.
Bear.
Because Seinfeld never had like this. I mean, maybe there were intonations of super deep subjects, but there's so much more complex things happening. Comedy for me is like there's like none of that like deep like introspection, you know?
Then
And
you just aren't
Seinfeld
watching the
doesn't
right
have
comedies.
I disagree. Read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
That's
The Birdcage,
Hitchhiker's Guide's so funny.
I read the
The
book, but I
Big
didn't watch the
Lebowski.
movie.
The Big Lebowski's so funny.
These are deep. These have deep ideas.
So
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote is basically Tommy Boy. They're like the same storyline. Of
Correct.
course they're funny.
Yeah.
I'm
He fights
angry.
windmills.
My next reviewer.
Don Quixote and the Bear are the same as SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm sorry, Devin.
I think I'm gonna go and like poop for like an hour.
It's gonna be really strained too. My next reviewer is by Clinton of Fun. And they say this movie was way more somber and insightful than I ever expected it to be. It also happened to be way more brilliant than I could have hoped for. And I'm not just saying that as a newly 40-year-old former improver either. This was a film that could have focused on just celebrities, but also touched on community and creation. More importantly, it touched on relationships without ever trying too hard. I loved every minute. 9 out of 10.
You wrote that, Brandon.
Oh, I did. You're right. Shit, I'm Clinton of Fun. Next is by Army Nod. Shout out to the Army.
Armanad.
They say the entire film can be summed up by one of the statements made about halfway through this snooze fest. In quotes, it's like when something sounds funny, but it isn't funny. 3 out of 10.
I disagree.
Because it's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
My penultimate today is by Stephen DeCastro. They say, if it has a fault, it's that this thing is such a beautiful tragedy that it's too hard to see it as a comedy. There are some good improv scenes interspersed within the group's struggles with fame and ambition and how hard it is to be an artist, which are so engrossing and real that your heart really goes out to the characters. 10 out of 10.
Devin?
I've checked out.
I'm glad we had that argument and then this review came up because I wrote this 2 weeks ago. I wasn't sure what was going to come up, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" As I was
Me
reading
and
it, I was like,
Brandon essentially had the idea for the Bear.
"Yeah, we created the bear in 2023,
You guys
Wait,
did?
what?
2022, 2022."
Yeah, with our Burger King getting the Michelin star idea.
Yeah,
Same show.
go back and listen to our first ever writer's block. People, it was like
What was that
December
called?
of 2022. It's called Starred.
Starred.
Wait, was that the one where everyone was working at Burger King?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good movie.
God, they're so good. I'm gonna listen to those again. And my last reviewer is by AJE09, and they say,
They're good movies.
blah blah blah. One of the most over dialogued movies. Oh, and zero laughs. Watch something else. 1 out of 10.
I can't get over it. I just can't get over it. I can't because how could this be comedy? It doesn't make
Let me
sense to
let
me.
me let me take you back. What is the fundamental basis for all television comedies? Let's say post Lila of Lucy. Let's go there. It
I
is a group of people in one situation working together for a common goal. And out of that
hold
arises
wait whoa, hold
melodramas.
on.
Out of that arises comedic situations. So
I have
it's just
problems.
part one of my arguments. Hold on, that's the structural argument. It can only be classified as a comedy because structurally it is so. Dramas are structured differently. There are different emotional climaxes that appear at different times. The sitcom style of The Bear would lend it to believe that. Number two, the satiric situation it sets itself in would lend itself to a comedic lens. It is essentially a hot dog stand, and they're trying to get Michelin stars, inherently a funny situation. Those are my 2 points.
Okay,
Devin.
those are those 2 points, but why? Okay, there's so much more going on in the bear. This is a much more of a pathos argument.
Okay, I would love to hear the pathos argument.
There's so much more going on in the bear. There's the relationships between the people. There's the socioeconomic arguments. There's everything else going
I
on, and then you're just gonna call it a comedy, like because they made two
I
jokes in an
I think
episode.
for one, I think you have a presupposition that comedies are lesser than dramas with this. That's I think an inherent bias that you are displaying, my friend.
But I think a lot of the general
I think
population is.
any form of good media should make you laugh.
I
If you can watch a whole
disagree
movie,
with that.
I just think if you can watch a whole movie and it makes you laugh once, that you classify it as a comedy is like very dumb.
Um, no. What was your other point? I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. Oh, the other point. Yes, I think you're not also not allowing the genre of comedy enough service by saying that having relationships or problems or other sort of melodramatic elements precludes it from being a comedy. I think comedy as a genre is wide enough that it can have all those elements within it and still be a comedy.
I think that
Because
that
characters
comedy
date
is
doesn't
too
make it a
broad.
drama.
Then like again like the fucking like what's the movie the movie where they go to North Korea,
The
The
interview.
Interview,
the interview, and like the bear in this movie can end up in the same
Interview.
genre and they could be
Yeah.
competing for the same time. That's fucked, dude. No, I disagree
Wouldn't
so
you say one
strongly.
is made a little bit better than the other?
No, they're made the same but for different reasons. Like the
You
interview
think
wasn't
you think
made.
The Interview is as high quality as The Bear?
I think you're
I would
watching them
disagree
for
with that.
different reasons. And I think people
I would
don't
disagree
watch
with that
the
as well.
interview expecting to have the same experience as the bear or this movie.
Wait. Can I make a point? So what about this movie itself then? Because we did this about this movie, my birthday episode.
Wait.
It's a drama.
And
Happy
I
birthday.
I just wanted to ask, like, so you're saying that this doesn't feel like a comedy. So do you think that a stand-up comedian writing this was trying to make this not funny?
No, I think there are funny parts, but I don't think you can classify a whole movie comedy. Okay, comedy to me is stand up. Comedy is something whose entire purpose is to make you laugh. And if the purpose of the media is not to make
Disagree.
you laugh, how can you
Disagree.
classify that as a comedy?
Have you
Yeah,
seen a sad stand-up? I've
I
seen many
disagree
sad
because then
stand-ups.
I disagree with that because with that logic, the best comedy winner every year would be a 2 hour long compilation of people getting kicked in the nuts. That's not also
That'd be
what
good comedy though. I enjoy that comedy.
kicked in the nuts
I
of the movie
again,
is that's
I think
elicits
it's
the most
too
laughs.
broad of a genre. I think like I I just so disagree with in all of Hollywood, which means I'm probably wrong, but I disagree, and I'll take this to the grave.
See, I think maybe drama is too broad because in the award circuits, there's two realms: drama or comedy slash musical. Drama
I would
includes period pieces and war films and all these different things. And then,
okay, to analyze the emotions I felt while watching, let's say The Bear, let's keep on with The Bear. Laughing and feeling like happy and wanting to laugh, that was so far down above all these other emotions going on. And just because it had funny parts, to classify it as a comedy, who to me, I think comedy is laughing.
so
Comedy is,
so you
That's my
have to
fundamental
be
disagreement.
happy while watching a comedy. You can't get
and
sad.
okay,
I
to
mean,
In
that's
a
me, you would have to redefine the entire word of comedy
Okay,
for
wow.
me to agree with this.
Okay.
I Comedy to me is something that's made to make you laugh,
it.
and that's its ultimate purpose.
I I I disagree with that. I don't think that's its ultimate purpose. I think it all dates back to the ancient Greek ideals of what drama, as in like a theater form, ultimately was, because they had the comedies and they had the tragedies. Um, and I think Devin's wrong.
I Okay, we could go into the etymology of the word comedy, but colloquially, if you go to a show that's labeled as a comedy show, what do you think you're going to do there? Like when you're going to a comedy show, what is like your
But I
expectation
don't
going to
go to
comedy show?
drama shows. This is conflating movie genres with a different thing.
You want to know what I look for when I go to a comedy show? I hope to not, I don't care if I laugh or not. I hope to be moved because I see
Let's be
all
moved.
different things like comedy and acting and dramas and all this and music as art forms in a way of expressing things that I hope to be moved. Whether I do laugh or I cry, I just hope I feel something.
You know what? I'm speaking for
Kind
the
of agree
lesser
and
man,
disagree with that.
the tradesman. If
I
if
think that
us if us lower our IQ individuals see comedy show, we want to laugh.
I think I think you're not giving the tradesman enough credit. I think the tradesman knows that the movie is a vehicle for the director's vision. And
Yes.
if you're going to categorize that vision in one of two ways, the director's vision is thematic, it is allegorical, it is storytelling, it is not to make you cry or to make you laugh. If you happen to do one or the other, it may serve the purpose, but it ultimately comes down to a director's vision and how it is structured and laid out according to the ancient Greek philosophies.
And Hugh Jackman.
And I think the layman would agree with me. And I would recommend this movie.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Are we recommending this movie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little blurb in in the fucking thing, like just of me just being like, okay, guys, this is the end of the podcast. We recommend the movie. Next
Yeah.
is gonna be this. If you want to listen to 20 minutes worth of us dissecting comedies, feel
Yeah.
free. Devin, are you recommending this? Because I obviously am. It's my birthday choice.
Yeah, I'd watch it. I don't. Yeah,
And
I'd
you're gonna
watch it.
recommend it?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Okay. Well, that is gonna end my birthday choice. I guess I have a poll for the fucking for my
Is
episode.
the bear
Is
a
this or
comedy?
is the bear a comedy or a drama? Next week we've got a 1980s B movie called Miami Connection.
Miami.
Miami. And I don't know a ton about it. I haven't even started the script and we got to do this in a couple days. So I got to get moving and we got to get you fellas to bed. Actually, Devin might be watching a movie now. I don't know. He said he was going to watch something after this. Oh, Contact.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, Contact.
Which is a comedy. Fucking son of a bitch.
I think that's a drama.
That one I think is a drama as
That's
well. Yeah.
structured as such. Yeah.
If I laugh even once, I'm nominating it for a comedy.
Okay.
Not my argument, but yes.
So that is going to end it this week. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Seth, for the 20 minutes. God damn it, we're running out of time again. That was such a long conversation.
Diatribe.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Kadoosh.
How much time do we have left?
10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I did not think that that was going to go there. I didn't even think twice.
No,
I
but
don't.
yeah, the Bears are
I
dominant.
feel very strongly about this.
I can tell.
I think you're like trying to think back like to what the ancient Greeks meant comedy was, but I guarantee if
Where
you took
else?
a poll and you said, hey, when you go to a comedy show,
Disagree.
what do you expect to see? Like most people are going to say, oh, I expect to see something that makes me laugh.
And most people in this country voted for Donald Trump. That doesn't make it right. I think a populist answer isn't the correct way to correctly classify these
Devin's
things.
like, shit, he's right.
You shouldn't be asking your layman Bible belter.
I think at some point colloquialism becomes the true meaning of the word.
It's a good argument. It's an incorrect argument, but it's a good argument.
I've
Um,
I've been
No, no,
enjoying
no,
being
no, no, no.
the
Everyone's
sidebar on these arguments because you guys both like actually listened and then respected and then had good rebuttals the whole time. It was a very educated discussion. It was not an argument whatsoever.
yeah,
I
a fight. Yeah,
I'm gonna wait a fight. I'm gonna ask my AI on Snapchat, is the bear a comedy?
they'll probably give us both answers because they're a fucking idiot and they sit on the fence. But The Bear it's a sitcom. It's structured as a sitcom. They do the same thing every episode. They come in and they do the same thing. They have the issues. A couple of things run over every episode, but each one is like there's a new thing, and here's the situation, and what's going to happen after the health inspector comes in. What's going to happen when they break up? What's going to happen when there's a Michelin guy in town? It's a
the
sitcom.
thing
A
is that they try and evoke other emotions with okay
Yeah, that's fine.
with like
They can do
Always
that.
Sunny in Philadelphia, like you
They
never
do that
felt
all the
like the
time.
stakes were high. You never felt like things were about to
No.
fall apart.
What about when
oh,
Mac comes out as gay and he does his big emotional pride dance?
what about Charlie Work? That episode where it's all done in one
Yes.
shot and he's got to get
Yeah,
it before the deadline?
but those are the exceptions, not the rule of of the show.
Why can't
The show was made to make you laugh. It was a light
And then
media to
I
digest.
think I think you picked a bad example because I think then they realize that they can use the medium of comedy to tap into all sorts of emotions.
Yeah, you
And
needed to do
that's
it.
not comedy.
You needed to do a
It's
dumber
still a
show like
comedy.
Big Bang Theory or
I
something.
need to look up the again like the etymology of comedy, but like I
Here,
so
here's what AI
vehemently
says.
disagree.
Here's what AI says. Well, the bear has comedic moments. It's more of a dramedy because it balances intense drama with humor. So, yes, a comedy.
I mean, that's a cop out answer, and I mean, I think I just disagree with that. Like I said, I think it's a comedy, straight comedy. There are dramedies exist, tragic comedies exist. The Bear is not one of them.
I like to think of the bear as a dramedy. I'm in between you guys.
I could see that it's a dramedy, but to classify it as a comedy,
But if it's any sort of dramedy, it ends up in the comedy category.
I don't know if that's true either. That one is, I think, a comedy
So,
sitcom.
also I made these all these arguments. I'm like I had four cold smokes, so
Yeah, you're good.
you're good. You're
I
good.
believe you. You're great, babe.
Baby doll. Thanks
Yeah,
thanks
you
for
can debate
joining
me
tonight,
anytime,
boys.
boys.
Poison.
boys. I
Poison.
will see y'all later. I gotta get up
Bye.
early.
Hit me with all these as soon as you can, fellas.
When is this one being published?
Monday.
Okay, I I'll send it now then.
Beautiful. I love you, Devin.
I love you.
Tickets
Tickets. I'll see you
But
in 3 weeks.
for concert. Hell yeah.
I don't have to buy. I don't. Do I have to buy tickets?
Nope.
Okay.
Free
Do I need?
admission, just donation.
Should I should I bring donation?
You could put $1 in and we'd be everly grateful.
Okay. I'm gonna put $2 in.
Oh, fuck, for you and Oliver?
Yeah. $3 because Emily's coming too.
Oh, hell yeah. The whole
But
squad.
but we're gonna heckle.
No.
I guarantee Oliver's gonna be fucking blown away.
I bet he is.
It always like surprises me that he's like a small human that hasn't experienced all the things I do. Cause like we'll go and do something and he's like, this is crazy. I've never seen this before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, you're 6 years old.
Yeah. You guys took off in a spaceship and you're like,
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't experienced this. So you're like, you haven't? This is like my 80th spaceship ride.
Well, we went to the rodeo and I was like, oh, obviously I've assumed that you've consumed media about like bronc riding or bull riding, and it
Yeah.
just blew his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hell yeah.
Simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, you hit me up with these. I'm gonna start editing right away.
Okay. I got 1 minute to export and then probably 3 minutes to
To
upload to
upload.
Google Drive.
Alrighty. Well, enjoy your movie or your sleep, whatever you do.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
How do I leave? I'm stuck.